Guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are a new subscriber, you are welcome, and if you are an old subscriber, thank you for tuning in. In this video, I'm going to be blouse with an uneven This is an updated tutorial on the uneven hem blouse tutorial I made earlier. But first, let me start by introducing myself. Hi, my name is Lillian of Lillian Fashion Lounge, and I talk about everything fashion, pattern drafting, online and physical tutoring, and many more. So, let's get started. The first thing that we're going to be doing is to draft our basic bodice. I'm going to alter my bodice to the shape I want it to, the way I want it to. Then I'm going to start by measuring my dart length on the hem of my bodice. Then I'll be measuring it at the front and at the back. I'll be marking it at the front and at the back. Then I'm going to be connecting it to the dart with a straight line as seen. So after doing that, the next thing I'm going to be doing is to measure my bust radius. My bust radius is 4 inches, so I'm going to be measuring 4 inches from the nipple to my under bust, round the nipple, the dart length measurement, the nipple to nipple measurement. But before I do that, I'm going to first of all connect my nipple to nipple measurement to my dart. Then I'll go ahead and continue marking my bust radius. So after doing that, I'm going to be connecting all the dots. I'm going to be connecting all the dots with my marker. After doing that, the next thing I'm going to be doing is to measure my under bust line. My under bust line on the paper is 22.5. So I'm going to be deducting 22.5 minus my under bust circumference divided by 2. So whatever I get, I'm going to be dividing it by 4. Then I'm going to be, whatever I get, I'll now measure it on each side of my dart around the radius, around the bust radius. Then I'm going to be connecting it from my nipple to nipple point to the under bust line. Then, in order to get a perfect under bust cut, I'm going to be connecting it from the under bust, the dart at the under bust to the nipple to nipple points using a curvy line. I'm going to go ahead to mark to get my the upper part of my dress, because I want it to have an illusion neckline. So, but at the end of the day, I did not use this the straight illusion neckline. I decided to use the sweetheart illusion neckline. But I'm just going to show you guys how I did it. I measured my upper part measurement at the center front and at the armhole area, and I connected it with a straight line, and I did the same thing for the back. Now, the reason is because I want to use the upper part as a net. I want to use a net for the upper part. That is the reason why I did this. To move to the lower, the uneven part of the blouse. Now, if you notice in the previous tutorial video I made, I did not shape the hip, and that is where I think the mistake is. So I went ahead to shape my hip before before I started drafting my uneven hem. So on the dart length, I'm going to be measuring 3 inches upwards. Then I'm going to do the same thing for the front dart length. And I went ahead to connect it back from the 3 inch I came up by on the dart leg. I connected it back to the ½ inch. I came up by ½ inch at the center back. So I connected it back to the ½ inch at the back. And the same thing, I'm going to apply the same method for the front. We are going to be using a pencil for this. You are going to first of all use a pencil just to be sure. When you are sure of what you are drawing, then you use your marker to complete it. So I went ahead to connect it from the 3 inch at the dart to the side, the hip curving at the side, the hip shaping at the side. Connecting the side. When you're drawing your shape at the side, make sure that it is not totally at the edge of the side bodice. Make sure that it came out, and you can measure like 2 to 3 inches just to be sure. So you can just measure it on the hip shaping and mark it so you know where to connect it. So I'm going to be doing the same thing for the front. So after marking and I'm sure of my drawings, I'm going to be using my marker to connect. I'm going to be using my marker to connect the lines. So I'm going to go ahead and measure and draw out my sweetheart neckline. Just like I said earlier, we are not going to be using the straight line. I would prefer to use the sweetheart illusion neckline. After marking the sweetheart neckline, after drawing it, I'm going to be measuring the armhole to know where it stops. Then I'm going to measure it at the back. I've measured the front to get the back, then from there I'm just going to connect it with a straight line. Then I'm going to be marking my nipple to nipple measurement on the line at the back. Then I'm going to be connecting it to the dart. To mark the line, the part where you are going to notch, because notching is very, very important when it comes to sewing for this style. I'll be using my paper tape to hold down the back shaping, the waist shaping at the back. I'm going to be using my paper tape to hold it down. Then I'm going to go ahead to cut out my pattern. after cutting it out, I'm going to go ahead to shape my neckline, because we are not going to be using the basic neckline. So I'm going to measure 1/2 inch at the side and 1/2 inch at the center front for the neck. Then I'm going to be connecting it with my armhole curve to make it a little bit free, to give it a little bit space. I'm going to be doing the same thing for the back. Whatever I measured at the shoulder for the front is what I'm going to measure at the back. So I'm going to connect it and same. So after doing that, the next thing I'm going to be doing is to cut out the uneven shape for the another material. So I'm going to be cutting it out on pattern. Now to do that, I'm going to be measuring 3 inches on each side of the dart, then also 3 inches at the center back and the center front. Then I'm going to connect it. Doing that, and we are going to move to the upper part of our bodice. Now to get the upper part, we are going to need another pattern. We're going to be needing another pattern to get the upper design. So I drafted another pattern. I'm going to be tracing out the upper part from the bust line to the shoulder. I'm going to be tracing it out on another paper, both the front and the back. After tracing it, I'm going to be drawing it out. With my marker on the new paper. I'll be drawing out my lines on the new paper. It out, I'm going to go ahead and cut out the pattern. I'm going to be cutting out the excess of my pattern. In order for our pattern to be perfect, the design that we are trying to make to be perfect, I'm going to be closing my shoulder darts. So after closing my pattern on the bust line, I'm going to come up by 2 inches. Then I will mark it. So after doing that, I'm going to be measuring 1 inch at the shoulder side around the area and around the armhole area. Then I'm going to be connecting it. Then on the upward, I'm going to measure 2 inches and I will connect it also. So whatever you measure at the center front, you're going to measure the same thing at the shoulder so that it will be equal. And I'm going to be doing the same thing for the back to make sure that it is not straight, that it is curvy. So after doing that, I'm going to be cutting it out. Then I'm going to be taping the two together at the shoulder. I'm going to be taping the two together at the shoulder. So this is where we are going to be ending this tutorial. So in the next video, I'm going to be showing you how to sew and how to achieve the upper part of this uneven hem blouse. See you guys in the next one. If you have any questions for me, please leave it in the comment section. I'll make sure to answer your questions. Thank you. Bye.